I want to encourage you to set pillars in your life because by doing so, you'll actually be able to conquer more. You'll be able to achieve more. Welcome to the Strategy Rewind Podcast. I am your host, Miguel Lebron. Here at the Strategy Rewind Podcast, we look at the relationship between goals, strategies, belief, and objective breakthrough. I'm so excited for today's episode. Hey, if we haven't met before, thank you for being connected here today. I am a father, a leader, an author, a strategy coach, and mentor, and I partner with individuals who have a goal but need a strategy. And in this podcast, we focus on the strategy to help you have a breakthrough moment. Happiness is fleeting. The interesting thing about happiness is that you could be happy with something like cold weather and then later on not like cold weather at all. And so happiness itself is fleeting. So when we talk about the purpose of life or the meaning of life, oftentimes we'll try to say that we're in the pursuit of happiness, but truly happiness is fleeting. Oftentimes, purpose and happiness can overlap, meaning when you're completing your purpose, you'll feel real happy. We should really be in the pursuit of our purpose, and yet our purpose isn't a destination. Our purpose is not hidden away in an island somewhere. It's not reserved in some location. It's not playing hide and go seek with you. Your purpose is actually revealed in your core values. And oftentimes when we talk about decision making, we're so focused on results as opposed to just the effort. You may go ahead and study for the next test, and you may study and study and study your face off, but then when the test comes, the results aren't what you thought it was going to be. Now, they may not be bad, but they're just not what you thought it was going to be. Does that minimize the efforts? Does that minimize the studying? No. You may go to the gym and work out and work out and work out, and you'll see results eventually, but just because they come eventually doesn't mean that your efforts are lost. And so let's really harness the energy that we focus so much on effort, because there in effort, we'll actually find clues on maybe we're misapplying strength, or maybe we're not really taking full advantage of our brain power. This is why I think it's so important that we would establish pillars in our life, because the pillars will actually allow us to maintain in the direction and build what it is that we want to build. If we were to look at the dictionary to what is a pillar, it is a vertical structure that is used for buildings or monuments. This vertical structure is sometimes made out of marble or stone or steel, but it is used to maintain foundations and maintain these huge structures. When we talk about our life, we're building something here. And what we're building needs structure, needs stability. This is where the pillars come in. It's going to allow us to focus in on the things that really matter and the things that help us feel most alive. What makes us feel most alive is when we are fulfilling our purpose. When we talk about setting goals, they're even more important because they'll allow us to understand if we're doing what needs to be done for the benefit of our purpose. In my personal life, I've developed 4 pillars, and these pillars have helped me maintain focus, even in the moments where I didn't really know where to go next. These pillars allowed me to gain perspective, and it is exactly what pillars do in our life. And number 1 is love my family. Number 2, honor God. Number 3, serve my community. And number 4, leave a legacy. Now, I got there by really harnessing and focusing on what is most important to me. Coming from a home that was broken at an early age, my father and my mother, they divorced by the time I was 2. So I came from a broken home. And then my mother did remarry. The gentleman whom she remarried was a gentleman who was an alcoholic. And so oftentimes it was very difficult, very chaotic in the house. But then when I grew up and as I married my wife and we started our own family, it's very important to me to be present. It's very important for me to be there and to love on my family and love on my daughters and love on my wife. And so the activities that I do on a daily, I try to focus on how do I fill that pillar, on what it is to give them the attention they need. And that may look like just playing video games or just reading or just goal setting or just being present at a play, or whatever is required for me to be able to display, to demonstrate, to show, to say that I love my family. The second pillar for me, again, is honor God. And I just believe that God has given me a series of talents and gifts. And so I look for ways on how I can utilize those gifts, those talents, those abilities. But for me, the reason that I do things is because I want to honor God. And I believe that by serving others, I also am serving the will of God and his purpose. The third pillar for me is serve my community. And this is something that I really feel heavy in my heart, that oftentimes we create a sub-community, we create a bubble for ourselves. And so I try to expand my community, expand my reach, and serve the best way I can. And ultimately, I want to, pillar number 4 is leave a legacy. I understand I'm not going to last forever. I would love it to be that when I'm gone, at the very least, bring some joy and bring some memories to individuals, that they would be impacted. And there are things that I do that fill each facet. And then there are things that I do that are foundational, meaning they cover all facets. And so what I would encourage you is that, number 1, you would start reviewing your values. What's most important to you? Because there you'll begin to decipher what it is that are the pillars and what it is that you need to be doing, what direction you need to go to. In fact, if you just simply go ahead and start on a piece of paper, just write out values that are important to you. It may be money, it may be fitness, it may be health, it may be spending time with your family, going for long walks, or meditating, or service, or education, whatever that may be. Just write a list of values. And then after you're done writing the list of values, go through, and what I've done is that I'll go ahead and highlight the same color things that fall under the same branch. So if I say, okay, I want to do service, but I also want to do charity, well, that kind of falls into the same bracket, if you will. That falls into the same pillar. And so I'll highlight that a specific color. And then the next one may be education, and the other wisdom. Well, that's kind of in the same bracket. So I'll go ahead and highlight that a different color. This way, by the time you're done, you're going to have a series of things that are going to be the same color. And now you can organize this and say, oh, here's what's most important to me. This is a good way for you to establish what the pillars are in your life. Another way is by reviewing your daily habits. If you review your daily habits, it's going to demonstrate to you some golden nuggets of really where you spend most of your time. And be honest with yourself. Write down what it is that you do. And if you wake up at 5 a.m., at 2 a.m., or 3 a.m., or 10, whenever you wake up, just go ahead and start writing down the things that you do and the things that bring most joy for you to do. There are things that we do sometimes in the day that maybe not bring so much joy to us. Well, then still write those down, even if it doesn't bring joy to you, and really re-examine, why don't I feel so much joy doing these things? And if I don't feel joy doing it, why am I investing so much of my attention, so much of my energy, so much of my time? So go ahead and review your habits. And thirdly, you want to look at your activities, and you want to look at your hobbies, because those hobbies and those activities, oftentimes we minimize them. We say, well, if they're just hobbies, it can actually be that authentic you speaking to you and saying, hey, I'm here, bring me out. So I want to encourage you to set pillars in your life, because by doing so, you'll actually be able to conquer more. You'll be able to achieve more. And of course, when we talk about strategy, strategy is a defined number of steps that will allow you to obtain an objective breakthrough. Each individual has a number of steps that are different. Some are 12 steps away, some are 10 steps away. But even when we talk about like the game of chess, the chess masters, they can see 10 steps, 15 steps away from where they need to be. This was what makes them so dangerous. And you are most dangerous when you can see the steps you need to take, when you realize where you are and where it is that you want to be. when we establish pillars in our life, it just makes it so much easier to serve our purpose. Establishing pillars also helps you with mental health because now you're not guessing on what needs to be done. You're not looking around on possible clues that may drop from the universe. You're more specific on what needs to be done. And in establishing goals, it makes it so much easier because it'll either serve one facet, meaning one pillar, or it will be fundamental and it will serve all of your pillars. I want to take this moment to thank everyone who has been connected here today. Thank you. If you found value and insight with the strategies discussed today, check out the show notes for further highlights and helpful links, and consider subscribing to be notified when a new weekly episode is available. Also, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, as that helps us know that you like this podcast and want more of it. Check out MiguelLebron.com where you'll find free resources. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you shortly.